and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another Library Heist TBR game. This is where I use a game made by my brother to select different prompts for my TBR. Now, didn't create a TBR in July, was frantically planning on filming. The month just got away from me, but my plan is to kind of get ahead of myself in August in prep for September, because I start my new job the very end of this month, which is terrifying and exciting. So hopefully we can be organised in time for that, because I'm going to have less time and more responsibilities moving forwards. Also this month we are doing MiddleEarthAthon, which is a readathon all about The Hobbit, focused on the hobbits from The Lord of the Rings. So Frodo, Sam, Merry, Pippin, and then Lizzie is acting as Tom Bombadil. I am Team Frodo, so I have picked my 3 books for those prompts, which I will remind you as we get to it. But in the meantime, the only other books I need to read are the Patreon pick, and that is it, because I am no longer doing the Gothic Along. It has come to an end. If you missed any of those books where we were reading all of the 𝚘𝚎 𝚘𝚎 books, links will be down below so you can check those out. They were chef's kiss. So over to me playing the game, and then I'll show you what I picked. My phone just glitched. So historical, we could probably do a historical romance, but I don't really want to. Now middle grade, we want fantasy, we want romance. Don't want thriller mysteries. Oh, that was close. I'm really good at this game, guys. I have complete control. I'm really looking forward to MiddleEarthAthon. We didn't get a chance to do it last year. We just had too much going on. But this year, it is all about the hobbits. And I'm actually really looking forward to the read-through as well. There's another romance. Where's the fantasy, my dudes? No! I don't know. I've only got 2 picks! I want this very contemporary. There it is. Fantasy. Oh, come on. Right, let's go up. There's never any in the corridors. That's the... Okay. Let's go up this time. Let's try uppies. I'm going to try and get some LGBT romances in as well, because I don't feel like I read very much for Pride. July seems to have gone in a blink of an eye. There's another romance there. There's another romance there. Let's try. There's another romance there. We're going to do it. We're going to do all the romances and fantasies. That's just what I'm in the mood for. Don't know what it is about the weather. The weather always brings out the romantic in me. Screw it. I did avoid it, but we went with that one anyway. Right, and now I just want to pick up fantasies. I've got enough romances. Let's get a couple of fantasies in there if we can. I've lost count of how many books I've ticked, to be fair. But I just want to see. We want to see blue, I think it was. I literally just saw it and I suddenly have forgotten what colour fantasy is. Might be purple. Non-fiction, non-fiction. Don't want either of those. Don't want gothic. I want fantasy. Give me them fantasies. Come on, I can see you creeping. I can see you creeping. Just, oh come on, give me a friggin' second. Let me get to another room at least. Come on. Oh, there's nothing in it. It's just another romance. I literally got round in circles. No, come on. There has to be a book in here somewhere. Where's the exit? There's other fantasy. Let's try this way again. Let's try this way. Don't know if I went the whole way down last time. Let's go the whole way down. There's another fantasy there. There we go. There we go. So other than one middle grade, it is all fantasy and romance, which is what I wanted. It's what I'm in the mood for. Fantasy for the readathon. Romance because just cause. So, romance, next in series, romance, LGBT characters, we love to see it. Fantasy, sci-fi set in winter, not the vibe in summer, but that's fine. Romance, next in a series. Romance, demons, okay. Romance, disabled author rep, okay. Middle, booktuber's worst book of the previous year. Why? Why have you done that? I don't want to pick a book that people didn't like. Let alone in middle grade. Have you seen middle grade authors? Have you seen how quickly they'll come for you? Romance black cover's fine. steamy sci-fi fantasy, and then a sci-fi fantasy with disability rep. That middle grade. And do you know what annoys me most about that? Is I had the opportunity to back off and I chose not to. I chose not to. I chose to be like, go on then, sneak one in. God damn it. And I don't have many middle grades either. Why? Why? Library Heist, why? You promised me a good round. And then fell at the last hurdle. Okay, I'm going to go pick those books and then I'll see you in a second to let you know what I've chosen. Curse you, Library Heist. So, as I said, I was really focusing on romances and fantasy. Fantasy mainly to get me in the mood for MiddleEarthAthon, and romance because it's the summer and there is just something about the sun being out that I want to be out in it, kind of, not really, but with a romance book. I want to be with a romance book. So that's what we're leaning into. That's what I've got on my TBR. So, firstly, let's do the MiddleEarthAthon prompts. One of the key prompts for the Frodo team is Bury Your Gaze, and I did say that I would be reading this in that last week of August. I am hoping that I can buddy read it with both Lizzie and Jem. This is a Chuck Tingle book. This is their second ever horror. Do not look up the other stuff they wrote. It's too much. But I loved Camp Damascus, and I love that Chuck Tingle brings both LGBT and neurodivergent rep to horror in a stunning way. This is going to be brutal and I cannot wait. The next prompt is Bildungsroman, which is essentially a story of a young person growing older or growing more mature. I have gone with Equal Rights by Terry Pratchett. I am treating myself to these really fancy hardbacks as I go. Every time I finish one, I get to treat myself to the next one. I have finished the Rincewind series and I am now moving on to the Witches series, the first of which is Equal Rights. I know nothing about it other than that, but as with most Terry Pratchett stories, there are fantasy elements on it, and I have an imagining that the young child on the front is going to grow up and learn to be a witch, and therefore I'm counting it. And then the final prompt for Frodo is an overlooked character. I will be reading Hedge Witch by Skye McKenna. This is a middle grade about a witch that kind of lives in the forest, but what I really liked, and I'm punning here, is not only is she an overlooked character because she lives in the woods, you look over a hedge. Over the hedge is a phrase. So an overlooked character and her hedge. Like Shrek, it is layered. Okay, as for my actual Library Heist TBR, we have a fantasy set in winter, and the only one I had was The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the sequel to The Stolen Heir, which is a follow-on from The Cruel Prince. Now, didn't love The Stolen Heir. Didn't love it. Bought this as a hardback so it matches my lovely pretty set, but not super excited for this one, and it wasn't a prompt I was super excited about either. So, as per usual, we have a book that I'm probably not going to prioritise, but who knows? Maybe suddenly I'll want something wintry after reading loads of summery romances. Who's to know? Then we had a fantasy with disability rep, and I have gone for The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. All I know about this is that it has dark magic in it and a deaf main character, so it ticks the prompt. This is also an Illumicrate book, an Illumicrate exclusive, so it's very, very pretty, and I have been meaning to get to it for ages and just haven't. This is also the second time that I have TBR'd The Whispering Dark, which means that if I TBR it a third time and don't read it, I will have to unhaul it, which would be really sad considering how stunning it is. And then we had a steamy fantasy, and I have gone for One for My Enemy. I started this as part of the blog tour but didn't finish it, so I'm TBRing it officially. This is the Olivia Blake Romeo and Juliet retelling that I've been meaning to get to and finish. Olivia Blake is known for having steamy scenes in her books, and with this being a magical retelling of Romeo and Juliet, again, it ticks those prompts. I am tempted to do a Romeo and Juliet vlog, as I have recently purchased some other Romeo and Juliet retellings, but we shall see, because I'm going to have a lot to do over August and September, and potentially I won't have time. But just know that if I do a vlog, this will be included somewhere. Then we have romance black cover, and I have gone for Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood is also another author that I was going to vlog my response to, because I have read Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, but I still have 4 other books of theirs that I have not yet read that I was planning on doing for a reading vlog, so maybe this is the opportunity to do that. This is more of a Halloween-y romance, as you have a vampire and werewolf romance, but I know that I'm going to enjoy it because I love Ali Hazelwood's writing, and I know I will devour it because Love Hypothesis is one of the few books that I finished in a day, so I have no doubt that I'll be able to steam through this at the same kind of speed. Then for romance with disability rep in the author, I have gone for Talia Hibbert's The Princess Trap, as this is an audiobook on Scribd. I don't actually own a paperback or hardback of this book, but I know that Talia Hibbert has talked a lot about having chronic illness, and most of their characters have some kind of physical or neurological disability, so I know that I can go to them with some strong disability rep. I think this is going to be a great book. This is one of their earlier ones, so potentially even steamier than Get a Life Chloe Brown. But I also have Act Your Age Eve Brown that I need to read. I just don't own it. So if I'd owned it, I would have picked that one, but I didn't, so I don't. I don't, so I didn't. For most disappointing middle grade, so few of the people that I watch now talk about middle grade books, and certainly the middle grades they read, they commit to and really, really enjoy. There were a couple that made it onto the list, but I just didn't own them. But I did remember that Over Emotional, which is technically YA, but apparently airs on the side of very young YA, was really disappointing for a lot of people. I'm really, really intrigued by this one, but fundamentally not really a middle grade and not really the worst book of the year. So again, probably one I'm not going to massively prioritise, but again, I think this might be the second time I've TBR'd this, so I will be checking that, because again, if I TBR things 3 times, it's got to go. I wasn't sure that I had any romance books that had demons in it, but Google told me that The Familiar is about a woman having a relationship with the devil or a demon. So I'm counting it. That's literally all I know about it. I pre-ordered it because it's Leigh Bardugo and gothic. That's all I needed to know. I prefer their gothic to their YA fantasy by a mile. No idea if this actually has demons in it. I'll have to read it to find out. Now, I didn't realise that this prompt actually came up twice, but I had 2 romance next in series, and only so many series that I've started, and very few of them are romance. I'm mixing it up a little bit with Lore Olympus. It does follow a relationship and several different relationships, so I'm calling it romance, even though technically it's a love story, and this is volume 2, because I keep meaning to reread these. I'm up to date with the webtoons, so this is me going back and enjoying a reread as a nice gentle pick for August. And for the other romance next in series, I've gone for A Lot Like Adios, which is the sequel to You Had Me at Ola. Now, I didn't love You Had Me at Ola. I wasn't massively well when I read it, and it was also very Christmassy, and I was reading a very Latinx steamy summary read. But one of the characters that I adored in it is the main character in this. So I'm going to give this one a go. There is also a 3rd one coming out very, very soon. So if I like it, maybe I'll get myself the 3rd one. If not, then I can unhaul both of them and call it a day. But I do love a Latinx romance. It is next in series, so it ticks the prompt, and hopefully I can prioritise this one. And then finally, we had a romance with LGBT themes, and I have got A Taste of Golden Iron. Now, Abby did not love this, or it was certainly a book by this author that they did not love. I've been meaning to get to it for ages, but it's enormous, and that has been really intimidating and one of the many reasons I haven't picked it up yet. However, it does fit the prompt because it is a man loves man romance. It also has some fantasy elements into it as well, so it's very pretty. It's very pretty. I'm just not sure I'm going to love it. So I'm going to try the first 3 chapters of that one before I make a full commitment to it. So there we go. There is my TBR for August. Wish me luck, because I'm going to have to film September's TBR very, very early, and I'm going to want to read that the moment I've done it. So hopefully some of these books can get off my TBR before I even commit to that. Let me know in the comments down below, what book are you most looking forward to picking up in August? Just want to let me know you were there. Feel free to leave some kind of flower emoji in the comments down below. Treat yourself to something from Waypoint because it supports me and my content. Check out the Patreon because I have one of those now. And most importantly, have a nice day.